Prepare yourself for a whirlwind journey through American history as we delve into the most shocking and bizarre U.S. elections ever held. Buckle up for tales of political intrigue, shocking reversals, and controversies that shook the nation to its core. 1800. Thomas Jefferson versus John Adams. Our story begins in 1800, a year that would become legendary in American history. Thomas Jefferson, a fiery Democratic Republican, is up against the incumbent Federalist President John Adams. The campaign is fierce, marked by a battle of wits and personal attacks. As the votes are counted, the result is a tie in the Electoral College between Jefferson and his running mate, Aaron Burr. With the presidency hanging in the balance, it falls to the House of Representatives to decide. Amidst intense political maneuvering and backroom deals, Jefferson emerges victorious. This election, known as the Revolution of 1800, is not only dramatic for its narrow outcome, but also for setting the precedent for a peaceful transfer of power between rival political factions in the young republic. The tension was palpable, and the stakes could not have been higher. 1824. John Quincy Adams versus Andrew Jackson. Fast forward to 1824, and we find ourselves in the midst of another political firestorm. Andrew Jackson, a war hero and populist, wins the popular vote but fails to secure a majority in the Electoral College. The decision now rests with the House of Representatives, and in a dramatic twist, they choose John Quincy Adams, despite his less impressive popular vote count. Adding fuel to the fire, Adams is accused of striking a corrupt bargain with Henry Clay, who was then appointed Secretary of State. Jackson's supporters cry foul, and the scandal electrifies the political landscape. The fallout from this election is dramatic and far-reaching, leading to Jackson's rise as a dominant political force and the birth of the Democratic Party. This was a scandalous and controversial election that demonstrated the raw power of backroom politics. 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes versus Samuel Tilden. The election of 1876 brings us into a realm of intense controversy and suspense. Samuel Tilden, the Democratic candidate, wins the popular vote and seems set for victory. However, disputed results from key states, including Florida, Louisiana, and South Carolina, throw the election into chaos. The result hinges on a handful of contested votes and the formation of a special commission to decide the outcome. After weeks of political maneuvering and heated debates, Rutherford B. Hayes is declared the winner by a single electoral vote. The resolution of this election, known as the Compromise of 1877, ends Reconstruction and results in the withdrawal of federal troops from the South. This election is not just a tale of close margins, but of political compromise and a turning point in American history. 1960, John F. Kennedy versus Richard Nixon. In 1960, the U.S. is captivated by the first-ever televised presidential debates. The charismatic John F. Kennedy faces off against Vice President Richard Nixon in a dramatic showdown that will go down in history. Kennedy's poised performance and telegenic appeal give him an edge, but the election is far from a sure thing. The result is a nail-bitingly close race, with Kennedy narrowly winning key states and the presidency itself. This election is a watershed moment, highlighting the growing influence of television on American politics and forever changing the way campaigns are conducted. The drama of the debates and the razor-thin margins make this election a classic example of how media can alter political fortunes. 2000, George W. Bush versus Al Gore. The election of 2000 is perhaps the most dramatic and contentious in recent history. George W. Bush and Al Gore are locked in an epic battle, with the outcome hanging on a razor-thin margin in Florida. As the votes are counted, a series of recounts and legal challenges ensue, with both sides fiercely contesting every ballot. The Supreme Court's intervention, which halts the recount and effectively awards Florida's electoral votes to Bush, ignites a firestorm of controversy. The election is a dramatic and chaotic saga of legal battles and partisan conflict, with its impact resonating through the years. The controversy over the vote count and the Supreme Court's role makes this a landmark event in U.S. electoral history, 1828. Andrew Jackson versus John Quincy Adams returning to 1828. Andrew Jackson seeks revenge after his loss in 1824. The election is a personal vendetta and a high-stakes battle as Jackson campaigns vigorously against the incumbent, John Quincy Adams. The election is marked by vicious personal attacks and intense political rivalry. Jackson's populist appeal and relentless campaigning result in a landslide victory, showcasing the power of grassroots politics and the deepening divide in American political life. This election is dramatic for its mudslinging and its clear reflection of the shifting political tides of the era. Each of these elections is a study in drama, controversy, and political maneuvering. They are not just about close margins, but about the intense personal and political stakes that defined American history. From dramatic debates to high-stakes recounts, these elections reveal the tumultuous and often surprising nature of U.S. democracy.